with you.
Glad you came back. So today, I'm going to be covering how to care for and maintain, and mainly how to properly season your cast iron skillet, whether it be skillet, your cast iron pots. Today I'm showing you how I'm doing my Dutch oven because we're going to be using it here pretty soon. So it doesn't matter if you are a seasoned chef or you just amateur cook, home cook, like myself. Doesn't matter. You should have a cast iron skillet, and if you have one, you need to know how to take care of it. I'm going to show you how to do that. But again, this big boy is what we're going to be cleaning. Well, not cleaning, or seasoning. What we're going to be seasoning. Right? And if you take care of it, it will take care of you. And it will outlive you. Right? So these things well maintained. These things will hold for thousands of years. Right? So if you keep it, take care of it, it can be passed down like an heirloom. And a lot of times they are. So I hope you find this informational. Let's get right to it.
Hey, this is Shrashira.
That's the best elevator music I ever heard. Now what I didn't show you guys, this was washed, hot soapy water, okay? And then once I got done washing it, I took some paper towels and I dried it, and then I sprayed it with just some this is the canola oil blend. So I put this on it because the smoke point is higher. You don't want to use like olive oil or nothing like that for this. Right now, I'm going to take some canola oil, right? Just canola oil, because I'm not going to be using this Dutch oven to really fry anything. So canola oil is perfect. Now, canola oil has a high smoke point, right? Roughly around 420 degrees, I believe. And what I'm going to do, I have some paper towels here. Even though I oiled this, I'm going to put the pure canola oil on it instead of the canola oil blend, and we're going to rub it down. Yep, just right on top of the blend. All on the outside. Now this is the lid, clearly. Let's get the inside. Okay. Now let's get the main part. Turn this guy over to start. And canola oil. You want to wipe everywhere. And you don't want big gobs of oil, but you want to make sure you rub the oil everywhere. Inside. go back with a fresh paper towel to wipe up some of the excess. Now we're going to put this into the oven. 350-degree oven. All right, let's put these guys in. Guy on the top. This guy on the bottom. All right, so those are going to go into this 350-degree oven for 1 hour, okay? And then after that hour, we're going to turn it upside down, and we're going to do it for another hour. And I'll tell you why. Now, a lot of people think that when you season your cast iron skillets, you just rub it down with oil. You wash it, rub it down with oil, and you're done. No, that's not how it works. Not how it works. Cast iron is porous, right? So there's a lot of holes and stuff on the surface. You can feel how rough it is. When you season your cast iron, you're putting a good quality high temperature oil on it, or lard, right? And you're going to cook it. And what happens is when that oil or that grease, that fat heats up, it expands as it melts. It fills in those pores, okay? And if you do it properly, what ends up happening is the cast iron skillet will then become non-stick, and that's what you want, okay? And it also, this will also prevent it from rusting as well. That's why I put oil on the inside and the outside, because I don't want it to rust. Okay? You don't want to cook on rust. Nobody wants to cook on rust. Now, when I was younger, and I'm talking, probably 20 years ago, when I used to season my cast iron, right? I used to put the oil in, but I used to also add salt and pepper to it and grind the salt and pepper into it. So when it became non-stick, you had that salt and pepper taste to it. So whenever I would cook something in it, it would impart some of that salt and pepper onto the meat. Now, as I've gotten older, I no longer do that. Because I like to season my food as I cook it. I don't depend on the pan to season it for me, okay? So that's how that works. Hope this is helpful for you. Now, let's get back to this guy. And I'll come back when it's time to flip it. Okay, we're about to turn these upside down, turn them over. Now at this point, if your cast iron is in some bad shape, you haven't seasoned it in a while, at this point you want to be careful, but add another coat of oil to it, okay? You don't want any puddles, right? Because you don't want it to be dripping down, all into your oven and so forth. So just give it another light covering of oil, and you should be good to go. Let's get these bad boys flipped over. I got my little barbecue gloves on. Don't want to burn myself. These bad boys should hold up to 1500 degrees, so should be good to go. So you see there's no puddling, right? Just going to turn them over so we can work this side. This guy, no puddling. Turn them over. Another hour. Keep it going. the second hour is up, right? So what I do is I just turn off the oven. Now let it naturally cool in the oven. And the reason why I do that is because I don't want any of the peanut gallery to grab it on the stove thinking that it's cold. They've all been taught that if there's something in the oven, before you even turn the oven on, open the oven and look in it. If there's something in there, don't touch it. That's just the way I've raised them. So that way I know if there's anything in the oven, expect it to be hot, period. So I don't have to worry about them messing with it. So it's gonna cool. Once it cools down, I'll tell you a little bit more about it. Now, the cast iron pot is cooled completely down, okay? What I wanted to also mention before we close this out, when you're cleaning your cast iron, getting the residue out of it, you know, the food and so forth, don't use your forks or, you know, knives and stuff to scrape it. I mean, you're not gonna hurt the cast iron, but what you're gonna do is mess up your utensils. So what I use, I have a brush here that I use to scrape it out. And for the tough spots, I have this guy. You know, it's a little silicone deal, but it has like chainmail around it. It's really good at scraping the stuff out. I use it on my walk as well. So you should have those tools, right? And as always, you can look at my description. There'll be a link for it in there if you really need it. Is it a necessity? I mean, if you haven't been using it this long, hey, you're used to using that elbow grease. But if you want to make cleanup a little easier when you're washing these things, use the right tools. Now, once you've finished oiling and baking, essentially baking your cookware, and it's cooled down, you're ready to store it, what I do is I put some aluminum foil, right? One of my aluminum foil sheets, I put it under it. I sit it in the cabinet. And then if I'm going to put anything on top of it, I put another sheet of aluminum foil on top of it. Right? So that way, if there's any excess oil, it won't get all over the place. Now you could use parchment paper to do that. If you're in a crunch, you know, use paper towels, but don't let that be your final setting for it, because that could get kind of crazy. But yeah, parchment paper, aluminum foil. You could go deli sheets if you got some, right? But the point is, don't dry it completely off. You want a real fine, thin coat of oil. Now, if you put a light coat on it to begin with, and you baked it, it's gonna feel a little tacky on the outside a little bit, on the inside, but it won't be excessive, right? So you don't have to worry about all the dripping and all that stuff. So just keep that in mind. You know, store it away. You know, I would recommend away from the sun. Just put it in a dark cabinet till you need to use it again, and you'll be all set. So here we have it. This is like just over 9 quarts. This cast iron Dutch oven. Now the top, you know, depending on your situation, you can flip it over and use that as a griddle as well, but that's not the point here. Hope you enjoyed this information I'm giving you today. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Right? Love that like button. Hit that. If you're not already subscribed, hey, join the Peanut Gallery. Hit that subscribe button. You know, we leave our arms open for you and the light, so you can find your way to us in case you get lost. Also, if we're not connected on Instagram, go to Instagram, put my name in, Shrashira, look for the gray cat, let's connect. That being said, you know, I got some things I gotta cook with this, so I wanted to show you how I get it ready prior to each cook. So I hope you enjoyed it.